Hi, I'm Craig Hayes. I'm going to talk to you a little bit tonight about some things on my mind. This past week we had the presidential inauguration, and I saw a lot of responses, both in the news media and on social media from people I knew or didn't know. A lot of reposting of stuff from people. All of us don't even create our own stuff. So the responses were everything from, "Isn't it a glorious day when God is on his throne and made things right again?" Or, "Isn't it a horrible day? We've got to remember God's on his throne because, it's the end of godliness in this country with the new president." So, got to see the variety of posts, and it's always interesting to see the reactions from all that. And I think a whole lot of that comes from the fact that for most of us, our citizenship is tied up with being an American first. So, first of all, is that a problem? Should you be proud of where you're from? I personally have no problem with being proud that I'm an American. We've got lots of wonderful things that have been set up for us, freedoms we've had established for us, things that have been given to us, opportunities that are unique in our society, and we're obviously an incredibly prosperous nation, lots of good stuff. But how about somebody from Ghana in Africa? Or somebody from the Ukraine in Europe? Should they be equally proud of where they're from? Are they better or worse for being proud of where they're from? And I would like to argue that they should have the same pride as their sense of where they're from, is where they've got their basis of where their foundation is. In fact, you could look at the nations of Ghana and Ukraine today. I didn't pick them randomly because you could argue that when you look at the spread of the gospel, they're looking better than us right now in a lot of ways, and maybe they have some serious reasons to be proud. Also, Texas versus New Mexico. I'm from Texas, moved to New Mexico 26 years ago. Am I proud to be in New Mexico, or am I proud to be from Texas? Either one is good. I mean, it's not like I'm a Yankee, so that's okay. But the fact is, it's okay. But I think even more than being proud of where I'm from, it's good to be proud of where I belong. Think about it. Where do you belong? Because to me, that's important. Because to be honest, when I'm looking at who's president, and I don't care which one of our previous president or our current president, neither one of them, when it really comes deep down to it, is somebody I belong to. Let's face it, they don't care about me, either one. Most politicians, I'm sure, don't. I mean, maybe in some random way they do, in the generalities. But where do you belong? The Israelites had a problem. And this came up in Matthew 21:43. They were proud, first and foremost, of being Israelites. It kind of drifted away from being as proud of being God's people as being Israelites. And Jesus says to them, "Therefore I say to you, the kingdom of God will be taken away from you and be given to a nation producing the fruit of it." Well, when we get into the book of Romans or Galatians, we pretty much learn that means anybody who becomes a Christian is part of that new nation, that new Israel. So it evolved from being a physical country to being this broad thing. And because of the U.S. background, we've kind of tended to do a little of the same thing. We became the person who sent missionaries into all the world. We were the great Christian nation with many of our laws, if not placed on Christianity, were at least some sort of biblical principles were oftentimes behind our laws. But Jesus, when he was tried, had this to say to Pilate: "My kingdom is not of this world. If my kingdom were of this world, then my servants would be fighting, that I might not be delivered up to the Jews. But as it is, my kingdom is not of this realm." Pilate therefore said to him, "So you are a king?" Jesus answered, "You say correctly that I am a king. For this I have been born, and for this I have come into the world, to bear witness to the truth. Everyone who is of the truth hears my voice." Okay, so he made no bones about it. It was not about him being king of Israel. His kingship was of a different realm. It's the way the New American Standard raises it. So his citizenship was not of Israel. though Jesus was a Jew who obeyed all the Jewish laws and I think was probably proud of a lot of those things. But it's not where he placed his citizenship. It's not where he belonged, as he was quickly have demonstrated. But even when he was teaching to his disciples, when he was praying for his disciples in John 17, verses 14 through 16, I have given them thy word, and the world has hated them, because they are not of the world, even as I am not of the world. I do not ask thee to take them out of the world, but to keep them from the evil one. They are not of the world, even as I am not of the world. So when I read this stuff and see our behaviors, whether we're talking about politics, whether we're talking about financials, resources, what we've got, our jobs, our families even, are we really any different from what the Jews were like at the time of Jesus? Where do we feel we belong? Where do we really, honestly, deep down in your gut, where do you believe your citizenship is? What's first and foremost? What's most important to you? So, don't get me wrong. We should care for the world. It is not just okay. We should care for this world. We've been given this as stewards. We should be caring about things in it. We should be caring about the people in it. We should be caring out the directions of things. But we've got to understand that's not who we are. It's natural and right to care about these things. But we need to keep our perspective. In Colossians chapter 3, Paul writes, If then you have been raised up with Christ, keep seeking the things above where Christ is, seated at the right hand of God. Set your mind on the things above, not on the things that are on earth. For you have died, and your life is hidden with Christ in God. See, we've died to the things of this world. The things that we need to keep our mind on are the things above. And letting the world be influenced by those things and doing that. Not letting the world, not letting politics, not letting our money, not letting even our family be the things that drive us to that. We've got to keep our perspective. And it's really an amazingly positive perspective. If we're looking above, if we're looking at God, if we're looking at the heavens, that's a wonderful thing. As the old song says, this world is not my home. I'm just a passing through. And I am so glad that I know where my home is. And I hope you are too. Thanks.